Hello and welcome to the Plus Your Business Show. Today's Q&A session for everybody. So we've got comment tracker on. I can see Roxanne and Monica and Layla and Gary, and who else we got? We've got Sue, and it's a little bit different today. You're going to find out why in a moment or two, unless you already know, in which case I'm going to wave over there because you already know why it's a little bit different. But I'm going to come and say hello to Travis Taylor first. How are you, Travis? I'm going to pause my notifications.
I am dandy, and I'm excited because we got some fun dimensional stuff going on here.
We have. So let me just start us off with something that Travis doesn't know. He hasn't seen this. I've talked about this. So because I'm in California, for those that don't know, and I'm going to go back to the UK in about 2 weeks' time. And one of the things that I've been really passionate about, and this has been since last year when I first tried Oculus Rift in San Francisco in the January, we've been trying lots of different units, and myself and Travis. Myself and Travis.
I did see those.
Yeah.
Yeah. You showed me them yesterday.
You could have pretended. You could have pretended that you didn't see them.
Oh, I did. Okay. Well, I didn't get.
Anyway, so you did see them. I got overexcited. So this is the new virtual reality kit that goes. Your phone slots in, and you actually look at it that way. It looks as if you put them on. You don't. You put them that way, and this is from a company called Jaunt. And Jaunt VR, I think they are. They're going to explode. There's if you have a virtual reality kit, so this is what they're doing, right? It's a bit like cardboard. But if you've got a virtual reality kit, then I didn't know I was going to look at this. Then you will want to download. What's it called? Other Space. Travis, I told you earlier what the name of it was.
You know, and I went to go look. I don't think they have it available for
not an iPhone.
Yeah.
Maybe just on an Android. So if you've got an Android device and if you're into virtual reality stuff, then go and check out Jaunt, and they've got something called Other Space. And what it does is it puts you in the story, and you've got a 360 view with people coming up to you. And I don't want to kind of like explain it all, but it is an amazing experience. So that's something that's been really cool this week, because this is about different experiences. You know, the technology moves on, and we are often very much in it, and sometimes it's very interactive, which was a kind of segue into why I occasionally am looking over here, and I've got a few people that are.
Hey, Martin, why do you keep looking over there?
I was about to tell. Why am I talking over there?
What? Yeah. What are you looking at?
This is hello, Mary Stovall on Periscope. So this is the first time we are
broadcasting. Hi, Mary.
On Periscope as well as on Google Plus as a hangout, and I think it's going to be a conversation of why this is happening. Thanks for the hearts over there, and how we can use this together, which is really cool. Because I think that we've got to realize this is awesome, particularly for content that you want to shape up after. And I mean, we've got the live event thread. This is another aspect, there's another dimension to it, which is on Periscope. So if you're not looking at Periscope yet, you're going to want to. And we'll have fun. It's really easy to set up, and there's some very friendly people when we had.
Yeah, it's a different culture, too.
It's a different culture. It is a different culture, but it's lovely to land and to have people. And hello, Peter Lunn. We've got Edwin, and I popped it into the community, so it's on Twitter anyway. But that's why I'm looking over there. We are going to have questions. It's going to be very different, but this is really your show. So,
can I share with you? Real quick, Martin? My experience the other night on Periscope, which was unusual, I thought. So you go onto Periscope when you're viewing things. You can go to the map and look at different areas around the world that people are periscoping.
You just froze.
Who did? I did? Or you did? On Periscope? Oh, looks like Martin is frozen.
Oh, he's back. You froze. You froze.
Too. I wonder who froze, really.
I'm not sure what happened. It's because Google heard we were talking about Periscope.
Right. Well, so this was really cool. So I went in South Africa, very tip of South Africa, there was somebody filming a couple nights ago, and it was like 11:30 p.m. here. So I went and hit, and it was this gentleman walking around his farm, and the sun was just starting to come up. And so I literally got to watch the sunrise live in South Africa with this gentleman and all these people that were with him on the phone, walking around, seeing his farm and having him talk about his cattle and stuff like that. But literally got to watch this beautiful sunrise come up in the middle of the night from here in San Diego. And it was pretty cool.
Why gets to the point that you have a virtuality headset in, and there's a little camera that allows for a more that's where I think we'll be in a few years' time with this stuff, which is kind of linking the 2 points together. But it's really easy to set up, and it's really easy to read the comments.
And then I can respond by giving Martin some hearts, huh? Yeah, some hearts for Martin.
Keep the hearts coming. The hearts. It's like, keep the dopamine, serotonin. Keep the okay. So to everybody else, hello. Monica says the two streams are running with time shift around 30 seconds different. Travis will find there is going to be 30 seconds.
Oh, I was. It probably.
That's really interesting because
it probably goes more and more.
Yeah, it's going to happen now because that is interesting. Okay, we'll work with that. Hello, George and Debayan. So what do you want to know? I mean, we've got a lot kind of going on. It's been a very busy couple of months in the real world for me. That's the case that comes in by. And
so everybody's saying hi over on the Hangout.
And I can see it. I've just got the Hangout going. They're running over to the they're running over to the app. So let's talk about what should we talk about?
Well, people watching right now, either from Periscope or from the Hangout, can ask Martin questions, anything. Martin's in the hot seat today.
Which basically means we didn't have a good idea for the show.
That's not true.
No, it's not true. Not true. It was just. I'll tell you what it was. I'm going to tell you first because you're almost 30 seconds ahead, and I'll tell everyone now. What happened was the launch that I wanted to do this week, which is around the Google My Business and particularly local. I'm still getting things in place. And this week in the Academy, tomorrow, in fact, I'm going to tell you, in fact, I'm going to put a little video in later today to get you ready for tomorrow. We're going to do a start. We're going to do the warm-up for what's coming next week, which is going to be a launch of something most probably on Monday, and that's going to go public. But I'm still, it's a cooking process. You've got to chop everything up, and you've got to lay it all out, and then you've got to think, okay, which bits do I communicate in order to get the best response? And for those that have gone through, if you look, you've got Sheila and you've got Mary, people that have gone on with the training that we've done over the last year, they realize it's like just be patient and look long-term at what search results you're looking for from pieces of content. It's not a case of just chuck it out there and hope for the best. It's really going from a strategic point of view and saying, okay, if there's engagement, if there's 200, 300 shares, and it's not just about the numbers, I know, and I always say that, but if you're looking at quite a big lift, the piece of content, to get that now, it's going to have to be rocking. But you're also going to have to build a community around it, and then you might get the search results, right? But what I'm saying is that 50, even 50 is cool, but 50 to 100, sometimes on some of the search terms, you're not going to get a really, really solid result. And it depends on the who shares it, and it depends on the history and the existing algorithm that you have in relation to that content. It depends on the domain authority. It depends on so many factors and everything else in search. But the reason why I slowed down this week and said, okay, we'll do a Q&A and a bit of fun on Periscope is because I'm not ready yet. I'm not clear yet on exactly what can be achieved. And we're in summer, and that changes things as well. Yeah, it's something that, Sheila said almost too much content at one time. It is too much, I know. Imagine if I got Meerkat going at the same time. We can have that.
We could do that.
We could do that, but we're not going to do it today. So, and Peter, yes, I am coming back to the UK, so I'm sure we'll be currying soon. But the idea being is that sometimes it's better not to do anything than to do something badly that gets you a half result, because a half result in search is not going to be a first, second, third, 10th page. It's going to be something. Oh, and even if it's not a solid first page, then are you wasting that content? Do you like that? That was like, do you see that? That was a little thing up in the face, which I could have avoided.
I missed that.
Patience is so hard but necessary. It's hard because, particularly if you've been creating a lot of content and you just want to get the content out there, and it's almost like you just, I don't say you've had enough of it, but it's almost you get to the point, I just want to, it's like that's when you've just got to step away and go, hold on, what needs to happen with that piece of content for it to go and get that result? This is later. I mean, this isn't just a social post. This is something which you're really saying, I want to sit on the first page for these results. So you've got to put a lot of work in, and you've got to deserve it. So that's why things at the minute, I said, let's do a Q&A, even though it's just me speaking, 10 minutes. Let's just do a Q&A for this week, and then hopefully next week will be not quite what it was going to be, but it will probably be something you're going to dig. And in fact,
I was going to say,
we maybe dig together.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it will go next week, but I have to do some prep work together. Question: anyone on Periscope have any questions? Everyone's kind of gone quiet now. So patience is good. Mary says it's a process. It's a building process to rank. Now, interesting, Sheila. It's also because Sheila's in level 4 and working through building your personal brand, your groove, and this has been great because I saw you doing the session with Jody, which is excellent. It's finding your voice and finding your connections, and then looking at the search stuff. I think that instead of, and this is exactly what I was doing, instead of trying to get search in the early days, build the relationships, understand the territory and the platform. That's me pointing at Periscope. No matter what the platform is, they all have a different culture, they all have different connections. The great thing is, if you've invested in the relationships, you visit another platform, and you've got Jeff Sear here. Hello, Jeff. See, and he's invited followers. This is the thing. So it's the relationships. And it's all about connection. It doesn't matter, and the VR is about connection. It's about a feeling, and this is what this allows to happen. The common great. Hello, the common great. So there we go. Hello, Denver. Stumbled upon this even by happenstance. Happenstance is a great word. Peter Curry. Oh, do you know what I do? I love some of the curry places here, but the Three Moguls still the best, Peter, which is my local curry place. And hello, all the hearts. Do you know, I'm not sure if I can see. I can't. How do I just check in the chat? That's nice. Do you know what? I like seeing this is nice. Okay, Q&A. Otherwise, I'll just carry on rambling. Travis, what have you? Where are we at? What's happening?
Where are we at? Well, I'm in San Diego, and you're in San Francisco. Lots of interesting stuff going on. I mean, a lot of, I'm really trying to embrace the disruption going on. Like there's just definitely a lot of interesting disruption happening. You were mentioning Jaunt earlier, and not only is Jaunt making other devices to view it through, but they're also creating cameras. Yeah. They've got some cameras. They're actually producing a lot of the content that is good out there right now. Yeah. So and then there's other platforms that are coming about that are pushing the boundaries as well. Even other hangout-like type platforms, but in the virtual world, like we were kind of saying that it was going to go. There's already people playing with that.
Yeah.
So.
And it's going to be about connecting people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, and the feeling of the interaction, the openness, and the transparency, and all of those things. So these will give new dimensions, and it's going to happen quickly. But the funny thing, I say it's going to happen quickly. This is one of the biggest learnings in the last 3 months. The real world. This is the real world right now. I'm sat in the real world, but everything else is digitized. Okay, that's just my view of it, and the digitized kind of exists in this solid things together. But the real world businesses do not have any view that we have. I mean, in terms of social and the connection, the speed of change and all of that, and they hardly care. I say they don't care. A lot of them don't care. They care about customers. They care about getting more people through the door and paying the bills at the end of the month, and that is it. We are a long way, and I'd say California is probably, maybe it's the big cities in the States, but it's so far ahead of where people are looking at in the UK. So I know I'm going to come back and I'm going to be even more weird than ever. I do. When I start, you can heart that one. Yeah. Because it's we are pushing it, and all of the things, like Jaunt, for instance. They got, I think, 7 million in funding in the first round, and then the next round, which is apparently going through now, is huge, and they've just secured, and it's going to be. Now, even just the ability to know that, it's a bit like when I say an Android TV. Android TV is going to be massive, but it's going to start with a gaming market, and then it's going to go mainstream towards the end of the year next year, because Google want to be in people's homes, and Android's the way in. So here you get access to bits of information, you get access to where these big companies are at, and you see the up-and-coming ones. And I think in the UK, there are some good tech hubs. Bristol's becoming a really good tech hub, and Bath as well. And David Mayer Roberts, who I've mentioned in the community before, I've known David for I don't know how many years, 5, 8 years. There are people that are leading the way, but here is well at the front. So we'll see how that goes. And it's great. This experience with the Periscope as well as the Hangout, it's more complex. Because when I pay attention here, you know I'm paying attention here, and when I pay attention here, you know it's here. And so you have to be switching a little bit. And it's almost a direction thing. For those, Brian Fanzer has been wonderful. Follow Brian, because I don't know this yet. I don't know what you're meant to be doing. I don't know how. And say, look, press the heart, stimulate. If you want, is that appropriate culturally? Is that a bit weird?
Oh, I mean, I think from what I've been watching, yeah, people are just being themselves, and you see their reactions as the hearts are coming. Oh, thanks for all the hearts. You know, people are just kind of
feedback thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just very back and forth. It's meant to be two-way, you know.
It's right. So, but the thing is, I can't see who's here. So I can see there's people watching, right, on Periscope. Hello, and I can see we've got Sheila, and I thought you'd find that amusing, everyone. And Edwin, I agree. I think, you know, that customers are where it's at. Think about the Google Plus. Biggest thing, build your authority. Biggest thing that I can tell people, and your brand, it wraps your authority. More than anything, I think that's the greatest, and we've got the tools to do that. And you find the part, you share authority. If you and you're into the semantic search realm, and he's engaging on your content, and he's sharing your content for you from an authority point of view, because it's who you spend your time with. But there's also other aspects of like this. Oh, I missed it. Do you know what? I missed that comment then, whatever that was on Periscope. I missed it because I was looking the other way. How do I find that? Oh, how do I?
See, now that's the difference with Periscope.
And then you disappear unless you're paying attention.
Yeah, but then in Meerkat, you can actually go back and view the past ones. Yeah. So there's slight differences between those two different platforms, and then of course this one.
There is, and they're all different. And Denver, it's not an either-or. Right now we're doing a HOA. So, and this will sit on YouTube, and I think Hangouts on Air, and I've said this many, many times, the best thing about Hangouts on Air is what you can do with the content after the event. You can repurpose it, you can take it into segments, you can put front ends and back ends, you can optimize it for YouTube, you can put it so that it basically ends up in YouTube and is search, you can put it on web pages, you can do all of these things. This is different. This is about a different perspective. We had a green room for about 15 minutes before, and I was chatting with Sue Zimmer, and I was chatting with Jody, and I was chatting with so many people around.
On Periscope.
On Periscope. And that's a different thing. We don't have that Hangout on Air. They're different purposes. And what I would say is unless you've tried it, you won't get it. I didn't. Right? I didn't, and I interviewed Brian. And I understand kind of like conceptually, it's a bit, no. Try it. And go around the app and look at what's going on. When people are clicking the hearts, look at the feedback. Look at who is doing that. Why they're doing that. Why do they feel? Is it because you say their name? You say, hey, Monica used to watch in, and who else is there? And I can see Peter Lan. And Peter, you're not generous on your hearts, dude. What's going on? I could be a bit mean. That wasn't. But see, and then the hearts come, and you go, oh, right, you don't have that. Google tried to do that with the Hangout on the Air applause app. And it hasn't really taken off. And the different things. Now,
why don't I have people? Can people see this? I wonder. Can I show the hearts?
Yeah, you can. You can show them. So
if I go like this,
don't go wrong. Hangouts on Air for interviews for me. Hangouts on Air, YouTube, Optima, awesome. It's not an either/or. This is just happening there, and there's a relationship that you're building with a group of people who are watching from this perspective that is different to this.
Well, and I think what you're going to start finding is for all sorts of platforms that Periscope and Meerkat have the ability to kind of present that green room to be the other day there was a few different broadcast stations, newsrooms that were broadcasting before they went live through Periscope. So like we're doing here, and I know that the gentleman that was it Brian that you interviewed the other day, they do a lot of that where they're broadcasting Meerkat and Periscope and a Hangout all at the same time.
Yes.
And that ends up having the potential of driving, your audience to the different platforms, and depending upon where they like or what they like within the interaction of that platform.
Yeah, it does. And big point for Monica, data usage. I'm on Wi-Fi right now. So it doesn't matter. If I go out mobile, and of course it's a different, and I've got to get to a Wi-Fi, a place that's got Wi-Fi or chew my data. So it's a big consideration. But you'd have that if you're using Hangouts all the time. But the difference is it's kind of recorded for 24 hours. There's totally new to me, right? So this is the first experience proper. But there's a lot of friendly faces that you're going to find there because it's the people who are most keen at exploring the tech.
Well, and something else, too, that's different, too, with Periscope is you get notifications. Whoever you're following in Twitter, if you get those notifications through your phone, as soon as someone like Martin pops on, you get that. It gives you that option to jump into it and start watching it randomly right there. Whereas this, you kind of have to plan for, and it's not. You schedule it.
It's a different thing, and I think that the comparison actually, because people haven't heard me say this for at least a week, is in the early days on Google Plus, there were public hangouts all the time, and they're in the stream, flooding the stream all the time, and those that have turned up in the last 2.5 years won't have experienced this. December 2012 is where it changed, because the communities and everything started to go off into much more private space, and a few other changes as well that happened. But in the early days, it was more like this, except that you had other people coming in and fast. And I think that this is why if you had that experience, and then you start looking at this tech, and you can understand why some people are finding this appealing, because the feedback loops are very, very quick. And what Travis said about the notifications, that's kind of what used to have. Catch. I haven't seen Catch, Peter. You have to tell me what Catch is. Peter said
Catch is that program, I believe, Martin, that allows you to.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but interestingly enough, is this? So don't get me wrong. This isn't going to be the perfect piece of content for the PYB show. Nobody's asked me any questions, but we are talking about something which is perspectives and platforms. What's really happening is Peter Lund. I know Peter. I like Peter. He's a good guy. And we've got Monica there. And we've got Sheila there. And Jodie's back. She had to jump out on a call. But this is people. This is relationships. It's all about connecting. And that's really what was happening on Google Plus. Going back in the early days, everybody, all of the rooms of the world were open. And this isn't the same thing because you're not in there, you're not in there with me, but you kind of are at the same time, because as soon as I see the comment, then you're kind of having a conversation. But it's not a phone call, it's not Snapchat, and it's not Instagram. It's a different thing. It's a different feel. And I don't know where it's going to go, and I think that there's the fear of missing out bit, which Brian Fanzo talked about when I interviewed him. It's like, yeah, you've got that aspect, but actually I put in a little bit of typey type. I sent it out to Twitter. I chose that option. It goes to Twitter, and then got people like Jodie, and you got a smiley face, and got people here that are here as well, and they're Academy members or the community members. Generally, it's about relationship. It didn't take a lot, is what I'm saying. It didn't take a lot of extra effort just to click the button, and yet it gives. And we'll have at 11:30 we'll finish. Just that little clappy bit, that little clappy bit. Right? 11th. I use a pen. So those that see, I book and pencil all the time. It gives a different experience. So at 11:30 we finish the Plus Your Business show. Thanks so much, and see you next week. And we're going to do the fun launch. And then I come to Periscope, spend 10-15 minutes, and I like the little icons. I don't know how to do the icons, by the way, on Periscope. I'm going to have another experience. And if you want to ask me questions, you just want to connect, it gives another place to do that. So, and maybe it's a bit like, maybe it's different, actually. It's different. Try it. Do I think that it's going to be great for your business? No idea whatsoever. Do I think it will help you to connect with people that you may get on with? Yeah. And I think you'll learn something. But as with all new things, it will take your time. And it's up to you. But this is a good way of blending between two worlds. I missed that comment then, whoever that comment was. Sorry. So there we have it. It is available for Android. I have an Android device. I have a Nexus 5. Sam, is it Sam? If it is Sam, hi Sam. And Jodie's reply, I missed the comment from Sam. It is on Android. I have a Nexus 5, and this works fine. I think the camera's okay. It seems all right. It's not the most modern of phones. I think it's probably a couple of years old now, but it works okay. So I love that nobody's asked me a question apart from what we're doing on Periscope and there. Hangouts on air. To say it again, content creation, amazing. That's. Well, I did an interview on Monday with a couple of guys. The book's actually, I won't move it because the Periscope's sitting on top of it, with a chap called Are You Serious? And Jay Connell. I did an interview on Monday, and I did it as an A to Z. You can believe I've said that, and I apologize to all my Brits now. But
did you get all A through Z?
Pretty much. I didn't get the whole book because the whole book's got many things for A and many. For whatever.
It's funny, just to lead up to that, I was busy doing other things while I was listening to that. I realized halfway through that you were going through the whole alphabet.
Well, so did they. As it got to hour and a half. But this is the thing, right? So I did an interview for an hour and a half on a Hangout on Air, and it was them and chitty chat, right? And it was great, and they're really good, they're really balanced, lovely view. And Travis, you were saying that as well. It was excellent. And I said to them after, I said, what I'm going to do is then put a front end and a back end on each of the letters with the content. So, for instance, A is for, I can't remember what it was for, right? So we chose that one. And that will get turned into 24 small videos. Now, maybe people will do it with it, but I want to interview them. It's about them. It's about their book. It's about their content. So this isn't the same thing. So a Hangout on Air is perfect for that. And then we've got 26 bits of content to go on the plusyourlife.com website and the YouTube channel, because we're building up Plus Your Life. Maybe I didn't mention that. Always Plus Your Life and Plus Your Business. So, the last 2 minutes, so don't go worry, we'll still be doing Hangouts on Air. We're doing a lot of Hangouts on Air.
Here's a question.
Yeah. No idea whatsoever. Don't know. I don't know. Depends what citations and which Google. It depends what you mean, Brian. That might be a question for the local community. And we'll open it up. Is that yeah? I don't know is the better answer.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Do I think they're giving less value? I don't know. I haven't seen anything that would suggest that. What I do know is that stars in AdWords can appear from your Google Plus page as Google seller ratings, and that Mike Blumenthal had put out a couple of weeks ago. You've got to be thinking, Google are building their ecosystem, and they're building the local ecosystem in all of the pages that have been set up, so it's a case of cleaning them. And then you've got the reviewers. You've got a lot of local reviewers going out and lifting up the awareness of that page. It makes it a lot easier if people are reviewing something for somebody to go, oh, I ought to pay attention. Suddenly this becomes important. So I think that understand what Google are trying to do, which is they are putting their data into search because it's perceived within the algorithm as being the most relevant, up-to-date data they can. And I think that's the thing. So if you're looking at citations, we've got to look at the difference between Google and anything else. So I'm more happy to explore that. That's probably, and it might be on the edge of my technical understanding anyway, Brian, so we can pull in other people, Priya and Nick and others may know more. But I think we have to look that Google are still very, very much focused on building that pack in search, and it's still going to be a little way off. I think we're at the end of the hour, and we're going to come to you, Dustin Stout, you complimented you on. Yeah. Do you know what I think? Did Dustin? Did we do? Was it a Periscope that we did, or was it Meerkat that we did? Because you might have been the first. I thought it was Warren Whitlock and Martin Jones, but you may be. Right. So we're at the end.
Just to clarify, Martin was talking to Dustin on through the Periscope.
I'm talking to Dustin on that.
I lost one of my computers.
I know you have. Tim, aren't citations terrific? And get the questions, which are: is it not like that? I don't know, Tim. I'm going to have to wrap up. I don't know. I don't. Oh, you're being smart. Clever. Took me a while. A bit slow on the hangout. And Peter's saying about fun. And we'll come back. Listen, I am going to be around. I'll still be on the hangouts. I'll still be on the event thread. We are going to wrap up now because we're just over the half an hour. And I'll be on Periscope for another 10, 15 minutes. And then I might go and get a cup of tea or something. Thank you, Travis. Thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks for the questions, even though it came at the end and it's probably more questions in the future. That was the Plus Your Business show. That was the first time we broadcast on Periscope at the same time. Thanks to everybody on Periscope. I'll still be here and see you all next time on the Plus Your Business show. Big launch. We together are going to be digging something together. Okay, it's going to be fun. You're going to love it.
We'll dig it.